Welcome back and welcome to another video. My name is Jake. I am your Knight of Horsepower. And remember, let's chase the thrill of the adventure and charge into the unknown, because it is a lot more fun to live life on the edge. So last week, just a little bit over a week ago and 1,000 miles ago, we picked up this brand new 2025 Ram RHO. And honestly, it has been fantastic and amazing, but at the exact same time, it hasn't been all sunshines and rainbows. Look, I quickly want to state this because I know there's going to be some people in the comments later in the video that are like, oh my gosh, you paid this much money for a truck, it should be perfect and flawless and whatnot. At least for me and my experience and what I've seen with other people and friends, and me personally with two other vehicles that I've bought brand new essentially, the first model year of vehicles regardless of manufacturer, and there are a few exceptions, right? There always seems to be some issues that weren't exactly quite polished out during the manufacturing phase or the engineering phase, and are then later addressed in the later model years of vehicles. So I full well knew that going into purchasing this Ram 1500 RHO, that because it is a first model year, that there's going to be some kinks and some things that are going to need to be addressed or worked out, and that will be polished and refined for the later model years. So I was kind of fine being that guinea pig, and I knew that it wasn't going to be all sunshines and rainbows going into this truck, and that I could experience and run into some problems. And I have seen some issues and some problems with first year owners of the Ram RHO. Luckily for me, 1,000 miles later, 1 week later, I haven't experienced anything too severe or too terrible to make me regret purchasing the RHO. If anything, the pros and just how amazing it drives and all my experience so far with it have really solidified my happiness and my confidence in purchasing this vehicle, and I look forward very much to the future of what I do with this truck. So with that being said, let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly, starting with the things that I really like about this truck. Now, getting into the things that I absolutely love about this truck. One is just the daily drivability, usability, and comfort of this truck. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's super easy to drive. Fits in parking spots, drive-throughs, car washes. There's only been like one or two exceptions where the tire was a little bit too wide for the track in a car wash, but I feel like that's car wash specific and not necessarily like a major issue or something that you're going to encounter or experience all the time. The tech and driving aids in this truck, the 360 cameras, the sensors, the lane keep assist, the adaptive cruise control, the hands-free driving, the ADA, all of that is also pretty good, but I'm also going to talk about in the dislike portion of the video because there are things that I like and don't like about it at the exact same time. Creature comforts are also amazing on this truck. The massage seats, the heads-up display, the sound system is phenomenal. And the passenger's display, while very gimmicky, is something that my wife actually kind of enjoys. And we did find out that you can... Okay, we're good. We did find out that you can plug in a Switch or an Xbox and play games on it. So that's kind of cool and makes it kind of enjoyable for road trips as well. Performance and feel, steering and suspension is very good. It is a little bit heavier steering-wise and suspension-wise stiffer compared to like a TRX or a Raptor, but I actually prefer that in this compared to like a Raptor or a TRX. And if you want me to explain that a little bit more in depth as to why that is, let me know in the comments down below, and I'd be more than happy to respond to that comment or make a video on it shortly, but I want to keep this video fairly short because there's a lot of information to cover. Interior quality is phenomenal. I don't think I really need to say too much on this. Feels like I got what I paid for money-wise compared to like a Gen 3 Raptor. Gen 3 Raptors, just interior-wise, they're very lackluster, and I don't think they are very worthwhile or well put together or have high-end materials or nice materials compared to the RHO when you're paying a very similar price point. Road presence looks very aggressive. It's basically our TRX clone, but it gets better gas mileage, drives better, has a better transmission, etc. It's a updated and better version of the TRX. The engine and transmission, I actually really do like as well, and it's kind of one of the hottest topics about this truck is the engine itself. To go from a 702 horsepower V8 Hellcat engine in something like this to an inline six, everyone felt like it was a downgrade, but now that I've driven it, especially driving it compared to like a Gen 3 Raptor, it just makes so much sense. It's a lot more practical, it's a lot smoother, it's a lot better. You do get better fuel mileage, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit second, and the power delivery and the torque are very solid, and I don't really have any complaints about that. No vehicle is perfect, no vehicle is flawless, and I completely understand that, but like I was saying in the beginning of the video, for paying $80,000 for a truck, you'd expect it to be flawless, and we're going to start with the issues that I'm actually having with this truck so far. Luckily, this list is very minor, and knock on wood that it always stays minor and never gets any bigger or worse than what I currently have already. The first issue being that my door panel alignment is pretty off on my driver's side door. So you can see it's about a quarter, half an inch off, and then my weather stripping isn't quite right or done very well up there, but I haven't noticed any weird noises or anything like that. And we're just gonna run around here to the passenger side for comparison, so you can see that it is indeed pretty off. This is nice and flush, everything is good, it closes very well, and the weather stripping all along here and around the door is done very well. Now, other people are experiencing this exact same problem with the RHO. Some people are experiencing it in the doors, some people are experiencing it in the fenders right here to this body panel, and other people are experiencing it with their tailgate to their bed panel alignment of fitment. But that is one of the main issues that I have so far with this RHO is panel alignment issue, which is honestly a very minor thing. Can you hear that? If you can't quite hear it, let me help you. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we believe is a faulty ballast or a failing ballast. Now, this is the first actual major issue that I have with this 2025 Ram RHO. I took it to my local Dodge dealership already, and they did say that it was the ballast indeed that was making that noise, but because they haven't serviced or worked on or have that many Ram RHOs that have come through their dealers before, and Ram has not stated that this is an issue or known issue with other Ram RHOs, they cannot fix it quite yet. They said that if I get a light on the dash or if the light starts failing or anything like that, that they would replace it and covered it under warranty, so that is good to know. And I have posted about this issue on Ram RHO forums, and nobody else seems to have this issue. So hopefully it's just me, hopefully others don't experience this. But this part right here, if it wasn't covered under warranty, would be a $1,500 part. So unfortunately, I do have a faulty ballast. I'm not quite sure when it started to go faulty. I just noticed this sound one day and was like, what is that? And when I took it down to the Dodge dealership, they said that it was a ballast. So first actual major issue with my Ram 1500 RHO. So there's a few other things that I don't like about this truck. This is my own personal opinion and things that I personally do not like about the truck. Gonna do it in rapid fire succession so the video isn't too long with a little bit of an explanation, but if you want me to go more in depth on certain things, I'm more than happy to respond to them in the comments or make a separate video about that later if you're interested. Starting off with the fuel range display. Once it hits low, where there's like 30 to 40 miles left in the tank, it just says low. It doesn't give me exact mileage like it does in my Ram 2500 Cummins. I like knowing exact range, exact mileage of how much fuel I have left. The Ram RHO does not do that, and I wish it did. The active driving assistance feature is okay, but it's not great. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like Tesla Autopilot good, it's about a 6.5, a 7. Does really well in a straight line. The hands-free feature does work. It will do lane change on its own with no hands if you use the blinker and stuff like that, but it's just not all that good if it's not in a straight line, if that makes sense. And I'm happy to go into more detail about that in a different video or in the comments down below, but I give it a 6.5, 7 out of 10 compared to like Tesla Autopilot and my wife's Tesla. Gear selector, I stumbled upon this, and it's not necessarily the gear selector itself, but it's the lack of effort that's needed to push from drive into neutral. And what I mean by that is you don't have to fully engage or disengage like the gear selector button on the shifter to put it from drive to neutral. Now, apparently that's a normal thing in these RHOs, and that's a normal thing for other cars as well, but I want to be the one in control, the one actually doing that action to make sure that my car is going into the gear that I'm selecting it to go in. Not necessarily that my arm accidentally pushes it and goes into neutral like it did on the highway for me, and then I have to put it back in drive. I don't know, it just seems kind of like a safety concern to some extent because that happened to me on the highway and I did not like that because I was like, why is it doing that? Why was it able to do that with little effort? Anywho, that's just one thing for me. Fuel economy. I know, you're probably like, it's a full-size off-road pickup truck. Did you really expect it to be that more fuel efficient? To some extent, yes, I did. That's kind of one of the main reasons as to why I bought it, is because driving a TRX for 2 days and then a Gen 3 Raptor for 2 days, I was like, okay, anything can be more fuel efficient than the TRX, but could it match the fuel efficiency of the Gen 3 Raptor? And number-wise on paper, it could, and I was like, great. It might even do better because of the inline sixes, which are known to be fairly fuel efficient, but this is just slightly under Gen 3 Raptor fuel efficiency, and I just expected it to be better, but c'est la vie, beggars can't be choosers, it is what it is. No comfort mode. Driving around the city and whatnot, it's fine and everything, but the steering is a little bit heavier and the suspension is a little bit stiffer than I would like it compared to driving a Gen 3 Raptor in comfort mode around the city. Like I said, steering is heavy, suspension is stiff. Even in auto mode, there is no comfort mode. There is strictly street mode. So I wish the RHO had some kind of comfort mode where the steering would be less heavy and the suspension would be a little bit softer just for cruising around in the city. But it doesn't have that. Piped in exhaust sound. I don't think I need to explain myself on this, but I don't like that. That's it. Turbo lag is very noticeable in auto mode, snow mode, and tow mode. Now I expect it in tow and snow to be, have a bit of turbo lag with the way that it delivers power and torque and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's fine for me. But in auto mode for day-to-day driving, the turbo lag is honestly just terrible. It's a full 2-second delay from putting foot on the gas, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and then all the power is delivered. And I get it's an all-wheel drive car, but I think the power delivery could just be a little bit better with less turbo lag in auto mode. Put it in sport mode, it's completely fine. There's no issues there, but wish there was less turbo lag in just the day-to-day driving mode, which is auto mode in the RHO. Okay, now we've gone to the ugly, which are the known major issues with this Ram RHO. Now, like I said, the only major issues that I've had with this truck so far, knock on wood, that it never gets any more issue-wise as far as, my door panel alignment and the ballast goes. But here are all the other known issues that have been reported and shown and posted on forums that I've read and seen so far. Now, I haven't seen a lot of these in regards to each of these known issues that I know of. It's very few minimal reports and cases. Granted, there aren't that many RHOs out on the road, but take that for what you will. But I still wanted to address and tell all of you of the known issues, major issues that are going on with these current Ram RHOs, the 2025s. Starting off with battery failures. There have been about 4 or 5 total posts that I've seen in the 7,000 member RHO forum that I'm part of people just saying that their batteries just die and cannot be brought back from the dead, and they just seem to be that way. Like I said, 7 or so posts about that, not a whole bunch on that part. Body panel and fitment issues, we talked about that. That is a common issue that a lot of RHO owners are having, unfortunately, and I feel like that's just with a lot of vehicles in general. My GT500 back here, terrible panel alignment fitment issues. My GT350 was the exact same way as well. There is an issue that people have talked and addressed about that the RHO pulls a little bit to the right on the highway. The thought process that a lot of people have as to why this is happening is because of the aggressive off-road alignment that it comes with from factory and the tires itself. Some people have gone back in and changed the alignment to be less aggressive and still pulling a little bit to the right. So some people think it's a combination of both the alignment and the tires. There's been a few reports about that. Transmission having very jerky and rough shifts from 7th to 8th gear. I personally haven't experienced this or noticed it, but some people are experiencing that from the 7th to 8th gear shift. It is very rough, very jerky, very clunky. And the very last known issue that I have seen and heard of on forums and the internet is the wiring harness and grounding issues. Now, this is kind of funny because this was an issue with the TRX. I think it's a slightly different issue in the RHO compared to the TRX, but C-Tech Review did a fantastic video explaining this. And like I said, there's been a few other reports in it. So I will link the video down below of C-Tech's review on all of that with the wiring grounding issue. And I think it just happens to be that the wiring harness is too short in some areas, and so it just pulls apart from the connector, and it's as simple and as stupid as that. So those are all the known major issues that I have seen and read and heard of with the RHOs so far, but like I said, very minimal cases on each and every single one of these. With all of that being said, I do not regret purchasing my Ram RHO. I absolutely love it. All of the stuff that I've heard and read about doesn't make me worried or deter me from keeping the Ram RHO because it is still under warranty. Now, if for some reason your Ram RHO isn't under warranty, I would play on the side of caution just because, like I said, this is a brand new truck. There is brand new engine, brand new transmission. There's a lot of brand new stuff in here, and some of it has been tested, but not tested very thoroughly, obviously. And so with the first model year, we know there's going to be issues, and those issues are eventually going to be worked out and resolved and taken care of and addressed with the later model years of the RHO. So I think if you're going to purchase a 2025 Ram RHO, you'll be safe as long as you're under warranty. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with mine. I'm going to keep mine under warranty until the warranty goes out, and then maybe I'll throw like a JB4 tune on it or something like that and go absolutely crazy with it. But for the time being, and to give you guys kind of an ownership review and to give you these update videos on it, I want to keep it under warranty just in case, because like I said, it's a brand new truck. We're not entirely sure all of the issues yet and what is good and what is bad. But like I said, I love the truck. I would highly recommend getting one if you're in the market of getting one. I prefer this over a Gen 3 Raptor for many, many different reasons, and I'd be happy to do a video of a Gen 3 and Raptor RHO direct, a Gen 3 Raptor and Ram RHO direct comparison to help you decide if you're kind of in that process as well. But I hope this video helped you in kind of your journey and your thought process if you're in the market for purchasing one of these, like I said. If the video did help you, please make to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below on what you thought was most interesting, what parts you like, what parts you don't like, and what parts you're most worried about when it comes to the Ram RHO. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. This was a lot of talking. I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm gonna head on out. We'll see you all in the next one. Take care, stay safe, and of course, make sure to always live life on the edge because it's a lot more fun. Take care.
Artlist.io